sketch shows. There's not a prime time sketch show anymore. What's happened to the sketch show is it's been pushed post-Watershed into the sort of 9, 10, 11 o'clock slots, and subsequently has become more adult. And it's pushed the other way into the kids' slots, like shows like Horrible Histories, which are fantastic, but it's left this hole in the middle of what used to be prime-time comedy shows. And we've still got our Ant and Dex, but they're not really comedians. And that slot that used to be a comedy light entertainment slot is now a talent show slot. Doesn't matter whether you're watching BBC, ITV, X Factor, The Voice, that has filled that hole. So in other words, there's a bit of a vacuum for popular comedy now. It's become much more niche and much more cult, if you like. It's been pushed onto Channel 4, onto Channel 5, onto late night. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing? Or do we sort of look back fondly at the days where the family used to sit down together and watch comedy together? But is that partly to do with the way we consume the media now, in terms of we don't really all sit around one screen anymore and watch together? I mean, typically in my house, I'm watching the TV. My partner is watching something on the Mac. You know, she's downloading something on Netflix. Meanwhile, my daughter is watching something on a phone, and God knows what my son's watching. But we no longer sit around. I call it sitting around the fire. You know, we actually have a television in our room that's in place of the campfire that the family all used to sit around together. And that's gone now. That's gone away. We've become segmented, and that is what I think primarily has changed comedy from the kind of safe family two Ronnies thing that it was into something that's now targeting very specific parts of the family. There's a Horrible Histories for the kids. There's late night sarky stuff for the older kids, and for the likes of me, there's still Vic and Bob, and those sorts of shows, and Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse. So we've become completely segmented. You guys are exposed to so much more content than we were. We had, when I was really young, we only had 2 channels, so we didn't have a choice of being able to think, well, actually, I fancy watching Blackadder tonight, and just go and do it. If we wanted to, we could put on an episode of Blackadder now. We could just go, duh, duh, duh. It's there, it's accessible. And that is completely changing the way comedy writers themselves have to think. Because first of all, they've got to work out who their audience is. In the days of Barry Cryer, Bazza, who's now about 80, who's probably one of the great comedy writers in this country, he didn't have to sit down and think, who am I writing for? He wrote sketches because he knew that they were going to go on TV at a certain time and be watched by everybody. He had no niche audience to think about. Now the first thing the comedy writer has to think of is, who's my audience? Who am I talking to?